Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jesse here. You are watching JLSComics and welcome back to another video. If you hadn't noticed, I was away for a little bit, took a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit of a vacation, and I actually traveled out of Florida up north to New England to visit some family and some very familiar faces up there. So I had a great time. Wanted to tell you about the trip itself a little bit, but really, because this is obviously a comics channel, among other things, I wanted to tell you about this really cool shop that I visited in Rumney, New Hampshire, up in the White Mountains, called White Mountain Comics and Collectibles. Awesome shop, but we'll get to that in a second. The trip itself, it was a lot of fun. Let me tell you, it was a perfect time to be up there. A little bit cooler. The weather we're used to here in Florida, it's humid, it's like 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, it was about, somewhere in the 60s, 70s for the most part while I was there, which was amazing. It was refreshing weather, a little bit cool, a little bit crisp, no humidity. So that was great. And the leaves were starting to change just a little bit. Saw some reds, some oranges, and as the week went through, it actually was cool because you could see the leaves changing more and more. So it was really nice to see. A little bit of a drought up there, so I think that it's not going to be as vibrant as a leaf peeping season, they call it, as normal. But I managed to get to see some of it too. So I actually flew into Logan Airport, and I was trying to go to South Station, which is basically in downtown Boston. There's some buses that go from Logan, which is kind of like a little island next to Boston, some tunnels and stuff that go downtown and all that. And I actually got on the wrong bus, and I realized it right at the point where it would have been too late and I would have ended up in Portland, Maine. So I'm glad I figured that out and got on the right bus. So that was cool. Spent a lot of time with my mother, a lot of R&R, but we did do a few activities. One of them was hiking, which was cool. Hiked up in some trails and stuff. It was nice to be out in the woods, except for the fact that we got lost. I could hear a highway and stuff, so we weren't truly that lost, but we couldn't really figure out which of the trails. There was a few different trails, and it turns out that the trail we were on was called Middle Earth. So I got lost in Middle Earth. If you Tolkien fans understand that reference, and I'm sure you do. That's where I was for about an hour. So that was cool. We also went to a concert. It was a really cool independent, really storied concert hall. They do a lot of different events there. This was actually a band that played 9 Inch Nails, Led Zeppelin, Pantera, a bunch of things, but in a non-traditional way. It was a cello quartet with a percussionist. This really cool guy. He had an array of drums, and it was neat. The acoustics in the hall were awesome, almost too good. They actually had to put up some dampeners for that, because of the sound. But the way the cello is, it's really sort of bassy and everything. So the next day, my ears were kind of like a little bit sore from it, but it was cool. They played like "Hurt" from 9 Inch Nails and stuff, and you recognize it right away. It was pretty neat. They had some original songs as well. There was one called what was it? Something like, I don't remember the exact name, but it was basically a take on Lando Calrissian. It was like Mondo Malrissian or something like. Anyways, so this other day I was looking around. When I always go on trips, I like to look for comic shops and things like that. So I did that here when I was way up in, again, the White Mountains, which is way past Franconia Notch. It's up where the Old Man on the Mountain used to be. It fell off, but they still call it that. Place is still designated as the Old Man on the Mountain spot. And in my search, this was like the only place I could find. So I was kind of curious about the place itself, and also about, how is the comic book, the geek nerd community up there, and what's that like, for those folks. So I wanted to answer those questions and explore this shop, hopefully find some cool things and that wouldn't find in my area. So found the shop, reached out to the owner. It was actually co-owners. It was Father Tom and his daughter Becca. Fantastic people, super nice. They were more than welcoming and accepting of me being in the shop with my camera. bugging the hell out of them basically. So it was cool of them to do that. So I'm hoping you're gonna watch this, and if you do, thank you for that. So get to the shop, and I mean, I gotta ask you guys, how many shops have you been to that have comics, they have magic, you know, cards, they have statues, and they also have goats, and they had chickens, they had, you know, it was a farm, it was part of a farm. You know, one of the really cool things about this shop, and I'm gonna show some clips here, so check these out, is that, you know, there are some places you go, you know, the Barnes and Nobles, the New England, the Newbury Comics of the world, the Hastings, you know, things like that. Even just your local comic shop. It was built and designed as a retail space. It was always a bookstore. It was always a, you know, commercial design, and it always will be. And you can tell that right when you go in. And then you have other shops that are either unique or quirky or one of a kind, or they were converted from something else. And those are truly, you know, special places to explore, and, you know, one-of-a-kind trips. And that was exactly what this was. It was actually a house first. You know, some things happened and ended up being converted. Becca told me it was started as sort of a joke, and then it became a serious thing. It was converted into a comic store. So you go in, and they have, you know, the different rooms set up. And you go, first when you walk in, there's like a snake tank there, and I forget the name of the snake. She said it too. Anyways, and it's just, you know, different rooms, like a house, you know, and you know, you go through, there's you go to the right, and there's you know, like the counter, and everywhere you look, it's one of these places where no matter where you look, there's something to see. There's some visual stimulus. There's, you know, some, you know, card packs hanging over here, and the comic shelves over here, and you know, you name it, all types, all eras, modern stuff, vintage stuff, and it was like everywhere, which was awesome. The visual stimulus was almost overwhelming, so it was pretty cool. But then there's an area where you kind of like walk into the back, and that's where they have tabletop gaming. They have, you know, like the magic tournaments and stuff. And back the next day, they were going to be doing one, and, you know, I couldn't make it. And the next day, he also told me he was getting in 7 long boxes, and I can't believe I went the day before that, because you know how awesome it is. It's like trudging that first, you know, ski down the trail, you know, that first crack at the snow, first crack at those boxes, man. It's cool. Anyways, in that back there is where they had all the long boxes set up and all the, you know, things that you could look through for comics, the back issues. They had a good mix of bronze, some modern stuff, you know, like new old stock, and then you know, a couple, you know, silvers and things like that. You know, some good keys and stuff, some wall books I noticed as well. And it was neat. Like, you'd be like digging through the box, and you look up, and there's some freaking goats and some chickens outside. How cool is that? So it was just a really unique, really special trip, special place. And I actually wanted to ask Becca, because she was there, how is the community? You know, that was one of my curiosities. So she told me about it. So check this out. You know, I asked her a couple questions about the shop. It was a really brief, quick interview. So hope you enjoyed this. Pretty good. Thanks for letting me see the shop here.
It's no problem.
Yeah, this is amazing, actually. It's cool that you have stuff all around, and I just can't focus on one thing. It's pretty awesome. But I was kind of curious, how long has the shop been here?
The shop, this comic book shop itself has only been here since about April, but we have been on this property having the farm and everything for about 6 years.
Oh wow, okay. So you have, does it mix over at all to, you know, the animals? Because I saw some outside.
Yeah, not really. I mainly stay in this part of the shop.
Yeah.
It's kind of my calling. I like it.
Yeah.
With the animals and everything, they're just kind of out there, people can see them.
Right, okay, cool. And we were talking before about, you know, your interest in comic books.
Yep.
And in that world. So how did it evolve into opening your own shop?
It kind of started, my dad's always liked comics since he was little, and I've always kind of liked the more nerdier stuff since I was little.
Right.
And we started going to Comic-Cons, and I would cosplay. And it was kind of like, it's really cool that we go to Comic-Cons, but I really wish there was something in the area. And it was kind of started out a joke, like, oh yeah, Dad, let's start a comic book shop. And then Dad was like, yeah, let's do that. And kind of evolved more, and was like, oh, this is a great idea, so we opened up this.
All right, very cool. And I was looking online, we talked about this before, but this was pretty much the only shop I could find, you know, looking online. So how's the scene around here? Is it big or?
You would think it wasn't that big in the area. But one of our favorite things to say is just let your nerd flag fly, because there's actually a lot of people in the area that are big into this. And we wouldn't have known that if we didn't start it. Like, a lot of people come here and be like, oh, I've always really liked comics. My dad got me into it. Or, oh, I used to always like collecting and stuff like this, but there's nothing in the area. And it really helps the area thrive, because you see more of people coming out of the woodworks, people embracing, being like, yeah, I'm a nerd, I'll be proud of it, I'll get my comics, I'll get my figures. It's just great.
Yeah, it's cool to bring the community together, right?
Yep.
I noticed you have a table back there, so it's not just comics, you do gaming.
Nope, we do gaming as well. We're going to start doing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! We do have Magic the Gathering, that's really big. Another deck set is actually coming out of it next week.
Okay, cool. And you have an event tomorrow?
Every Saturday night at 6, usually 6:30, we start Magic the Gathering. We play it, a few friends come in, people just come in from all over. It's an open deck play, you don't need a DCI number, it doesn't have a charge to it. Bring whatever deck you want and just come play and have a good time.
Nice, sounds like fun. Well, unfortunately I won't be able to make it, but I'm going to take a look around, and if I have any questions I'll come find you. But this is awesome, so I'm excited to look.
Awesome.
All right. So that was Becca. I hope you can really hear the passion and the love for what she does. She does cosplay and stuff, and she just enjoys it. And the fact that she's able to do that and share that with her father is a blessing. And I wish them both the best with this shop. If you're ever in that area, it's in Rumney, New Hampshire. Definitely stop by there, check it out. Really awesome people. They'll have tons of stuff that you may not expect. And if they don't have it, they may, do their best to see what they can to get it for you. So definitely that. The other thing that's really cool about this place is it's part of a farm. It's called Backwoods Farm, and they have like four-wheelers, they monster trucks, they do mudding, they do all these kind of events for that as well. So next time I'm there, I really want to see that part of the place, because that would be amazing. I remember in my old days, we used to go four-wheeling and trails and the sand pits, and tons of fun. So I want to check that out next time. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you liked the tour, the interview. Check out my next video, because I'm actually going to show you, I bought some books there, of course. I'm going to show you the books that I got from this trip. And also, if you watched my previous video, it was a little quick sort of music video for Animate Florida, which was the last comic convention that I went to. And I bought some books there too. So in my next video, I'm gonna do the haul for that and for this. So watch out for that, hopefully coming up this weekend. And then stay tuned as well, because very shortly, sometime in October, we're coming back with COMICCONversation. We're calling it Season 2. It should be a blast and a lot of fun to get that fired up again. It is on a sort of a mid-season break right now, just to give some folks a breather. But if you missed the cast and the panel, absolutely check out Strictly Comics Thursday nights. He does a fantastic show over there. He just had on Nick, actually, ETA Nick. So that was really fun to watch. We talked all about slamming and everything, so that was cool. But that is it. Also check out comicbooked.com. A lot of stuff going up there all the time. One of our panelists is Justin, who is my managing editor for the website. I am a writer over there, by the way. And I'm going to have a article up about this trip as well. So if you want to hear a little bit more, maybe some more sort of detail into some things, in my own words, definitely check that out also in the near future. So that'll be exciting. And that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the shop, head on over to their channel, to their Facebook page. Definitely give them a like as well. And I will see you guys soon. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the comments down below. Definitely want to interact with you guys and hear your thoughts and everything. So this was an awesome shop. I'm really happy to have gone. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed the video.